right, now we're ready to get started thinking about the music itself. We're going to start out with the most very basic component of all music, and that is the beat. You know, most of you are probably too young, but back on the days of American Bandstand, that was one of the things they always talked about. Hey, did you like that piece? Oh yeah, it had a great beat. Well, beat is very important, no matter what kind of music it is. So it's sort of the fundamental skill you have to be successful with a lot of the things that we'll ask you to do in this class. So you've got to be able to find a beat. So what is a beat? Let's think about it in terms of your body. Theoretically, we have a heartbeat, right? If you're watching this, you've got a heartbeat. It's steady. Unless you have some sort of problem, your heartbeat is just, it goes along. It's steady. It's not ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump. It's a steady beat. When you walk, if you're just taking a casual stroll, it's a pretty steady kind of pace. You're very consistent. So when we're looking for the beat in a piece of music, that's what we're thinking about. As we get into more complicated pieces of music, we'll see that the beat sometimes gets a little hard to find, and we'll look at that just a little bit in this segment. But most of the time, the beat is something that you can feel underneath. It may not be actually heard, as we'll see in some pieces later, but in most of the music you listen to on a day-to-day basis, the beat is very much there because some drummer is providing it for you. There's a bass drum going pound, 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 and that's the beat. So we're going to practice being able to find the beat in a couple of pieces of music. So I'm going to start this piece of music, and I want you to just listen and think about where's the steady part. Think about how your body responds to that. Your body's going to move with music when it's got a good solid beat. So think about, does your head bob? Are you tapping your feet? What are you doing that helps you to feel this beat? And you see that I have a really hard time sitting still. You know, my foot started tapping right away. My head starts to bob. You respond to the beat. There's a very fundamental part of it. So as we just keep this piece going, just think about the beat. Make sure that you can tap it, tap it on the desktop you're working on, tap yourself in the head, tap your feet. Do something to respond to the beat. And I'll do what I do to respond to the beat. Doesn't matter what kind of movement you do, as long as it's steady, it goes with the beat. Okay, hopefully you could do that. That one was pretty straightforward, very strong beat, so it was really pretty hard not to be able to find that. So in most popular music, you're going to be able to find the beat pretty easily. They want you to respond to it. Your body just wants to go with the music. But what about classical or art music? It's not always so obvious. There's no drum set for most of it, so there's not a drummer going bang, bang, bang on the bass drum to keep you the beat. Let's start with a piece of art music that does actually have a pretty strong beat that you would be able to feel in much the same way you did that. So let's listen to this. This is the finale from Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture, so it's a piece you are probably familiar with. See if you can figure out where the beat is. Okay, think you've got it? All right, we're going to continue the piece, and I'm just going to tap the beat in the air, see if you match up with mine. Hey, you were probably able to do that. It's got a very consistent kind of pattern that goes along. Pretty easy to find the beat as you're doing that one. But did you hear any big bass drums? No, you might have heard some timpani, probably heard some cannons because it's the 1812 and that's part of it. But it's got a pulse that goes underneath it. In much the same way that you don't think about your heart beating. It's there all the time, but you don't sit around thinking, thump, 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 thump. But it's there and your body feels that. So let's look now at a piece of music that's not quite so in your face with the beat. See how you do with finding the beat on this one. Probably having a hard time with that one. Part of the reason that it's harder to find the beat in this piece is that there's no bottom that we can really hear. It's all sort of free-floating sounds, and there's nothing going thump, thump, thump in the background. Another reason it's a little bit difficult is that there's a kind of a stretching and pulling with it, so it's not, here I am the beat. It's like beat, beat, beat. And we'll see that, especially as we get into more modern kinds of art music, that composers are much more flexible with the beat. It's still there. If you go to a concert and you watch something that's being conducted, the conductor is still giving a beat. That's what they do. But they're much more flexible with it. Unlike if you went to like a marching band contest, that beat's just going to be. Otherwise, all the marchers fall over each other, and that would not be a good thing. So as you're listening to this music, first thing you should always think about is, can I find the beat? What is that beat? So we want you to be really comfortable with that because it's critical to being able to do some of the other skills that you'll need for this class. If you can't find the beat, you won't be able to do some of the other things as well. So think about the beat, find the part that you respond to, what you tap your feet to, what your body moves to. That's the beat. The thing we're going to tack on top of that is called rhythm.